Tukutra kuda kuisa chisefa mazwi hanzi amai ndakanaka amai amai ndakanaka amai amai ndakanaka amai ndakanaka amai ndakanaka munhu anoramba ivo kuti ndakanaka pana anogona kutojamuka kuti unokunaka ndichitaura hangu ndichimba amai ndakanaka amai. Ndoda kubvunza volume kuti volume muri kuinzwa here ndakasimba mukoma Eric zviri kufamba here. Ndoda kubvunza volume, is volume okay? Because I'm trying a new system where I want to see if our volume inenge ichinyatsonzwika zvakanaka, because I've put mukoma Yuda we can hear. Is it clear? Good evening. Atetemas, is it clear? Because ndikutraya kuisa 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗁𝗁 kumbi zviri sei. Ndikutraya kuisa 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗁𝗁 chandokwanisa kuedha volume nekudzikisa volume. Saka kana muchinyatsondinzwa zvakanaka, regai tipinde pachirongwa nai. Ngena lapa hanzi wangu weurungwe tau zviri sei mwana wamai kwaramba zviri kufamba here. Volume bo zvekuti thank you so much. Ndo zvatandichito worried nazvo kuti volume yedu iri sei. Boss nhasi ndaisa a different mic kutoona kuti inogona kutibatsira here kana taakutaura zvatiri kutaura. Good evening. Maswera sei vana veZimbabwe? Ndaswera. Nyaya yatiri kutaura panapa inyaya yesecurity, especially pama major rallies patinoungana tese vana veZimbabwe. It's so important that we beef up our security and make sure that no one is killed kana tiri parally, because a lot of people are giving us blame to say, look, out of 4,000 or 5,000 people who were gathered in 𝗟𝗶𝗃, people couldn't fight about 10 terrorists who came to attack us. People vanhu vakatadza kudzorera, and eventually we lost life unnecessarily. So a lot of people were asking, are you guys serious about the security of people? Golai mambo zviri sei. So people are asking a lot of questions about the security of people attending the rallies and so forth. So what I've done is I've assured Zimbabweans. Ashi, my fool. Guys, sorry. Every time I start going live, just give me 2 minutes. Sorry guys, regai nduye titaure naye. Ndo chimwe chinhu zvatinoda kutaura nezvacho atete masimasi. Hanzi kamunhu kari kufara ako, kari kufara zvakaipa, but kanenge kangojamba. Every time andotanga live on Facebook kanobva kauya ipapapo kunotanga kusvetuka kachita noise. Saka at the end all my videos atoita anenge ane unnecessary background noise. But anyway, mic yatinayo inogona kusafa background noise kuti sare tine mazwi chaiwo, but problem inozoitika ndeyekuti it needs someone anogona kuita setup and mona. But anyway, let's talk about the security as vanoshidini. This is a clear indication, my ace, that ZANU-PF is the one that killed. Remember, there was an issue about also review Chamsa's security is too open. Thank you, Mkuma Blessing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, what happens is ZANU-PF is a clear indication that they were the people who killed the gentleman. Although they tried to put a blame on 𝗍𝗶𝘁, people would say they were fighting on their own and so forth. But the mere fact that they went to try and snatch a corpse from the mortuary, that indicates who committed the murder. And I think they are now scared of the 𝗍𝗺 issue. Remember, sometimes in 𝗍𝗺, we had one of our MDC supporter murdered in 𝗍𝗺 by Jason Machaya's son and other people. The gentleman took about 3-4 years in the mortuary. He never wrote. He was intact. When they went to bury him, he was intact. So, ZANU-PF is full of crazy people. That is exactly what they do. That is exactly what they do. They're crazy people. Very crazy indeed. But what I understand and what I know is obvious. Ngozi inotouya and aiuye kumba kwa Mnangagwa. Ngozi inouya aiuye kumba kwa Yuda. Vakutuma kuenda kunoponda. Ngozi inouya kumba kwako. Hanzi vanhu vacho vasungurwa vose obvious. There is nowhere they were going to be arrested. There is nowhere they were going to be taken. All political murders in our country, all of them. Not even one ZANU-PF person was sent to prison. But we all understand who commit what. So this is why we are saying, in this event, these guys who killed this our supporter are the same guys who killed a policeman. They hacked to death a policeman, and they were never arrested. They were never put on trial. This is why you see the Attorney General of Zimbabwe has resigned. Greetings, Mkoma Victor. 𝗍𝗶𝘁, Mr. Yuda, why are these people trying to accomplish here? I'm not sure. We will see. Flows, how are you, sweetheart? Mama Monica Nyatsanza, 𝗍𝗶𝘁, Amagadini. I can't tell how many people are here tonight, but anyway, let's proceed. The most important thing is to share our presentation so that they reach a wider community. A lot of people are listening to what we say. Theo, how are you, my brother? I hope you are okay. So what we are talking about is the sustainable security. Zimbabwe is full of murderers who are roaming around the country, and the innocent ones are in prison. Definitely. That is, and you know, these people, they just die. Thank you, Atetemas. These people, they just die naturally. When they commit these heinous crimes, they eventually die. Because I've never known a ZANU-PF person who committed murder who survived. All those I know are all dead. You understand? So the disease that they fight. Most of them are all gone. You understand? A good example, you see the gentleman who killed Captain Leah in Wange. How are you, Mkoma Digi? How are you? Counting Mkoma Yuda, we 92 so far. Thanks, Mkoma Bishop. Thank you so much. I can't see the number. I don't know what's happening to Facebook. Ndakoti ndingotanga kungologa 2 minutes network yanga yatorwa pasi. But luckily we are back. Internet yadzoka. So what I'm talking about tonight is about the security, especially at major events, major rallies. President Nelson Chamisa is a brand name, just like Adidas, just like BMW, just like Benz. To the people of Zimbabwe, Chamisa is a brand name. Everywhere where he goes, people gather around him. So I found a t-shirt against Adidas. When I'm for you die, I take cash, you die, Tamari. You found a motkari, my BMW, on arm, night, Tamari, and the mona. Because Urufamba is something brand. Kunyango Chikakara, she show quereta on Munaita Mari. As goes I time, how are you, my brother? Keep on doing the good work. Thank you, Adedenyara. Thank you so much. Takura, Zurufamba Munago, Zurufamba Monomai. So, what I'm saying here is, if you look at the issue of Zimbabwe, it's almost 22 years now. We have been complaining to the United Nations what is happening in Syria, what is happening in Ukraine. That is exactly what is happening in our country, in Zimbabwe. People go missing. People are abducted. People are tortured on daily basis. And we have, ladies and gentlemen, complained to the United Nations security wing. We have spoken about this for years and years. Madla, how are you, my brother? Regai Timboku, Tukai, Baret, Timboku, Tukai, Bareta, South Africa, Chins, Jungaira, Magafitwa. Thanks, Tinenyasha, thank you so much. Thank you, dear. What I'm saying is, about Naganaka and this Naganaka, plus Nasin Risted, Ana Asha, Nasin Ronya Sotaura, Risted. Kana kuimba tombomira kuimba tombotaura naye tozongoimba pano request kone vanhu unza mboro akakati kaya tobva takatsemura naye saka nyaya tiri kutaura panapa atete Sally, how are you? Long time atete Walter muriwa zviri kudini. So what I'm talking about is, for the past 22 years we have witnessed a lot of people being murdered by ZANU-PF. We tried to complain to the Security Council, United Nations Security Council, to say, look, we Zimbabweans are under attack from our government. This is a terrorist government. And the United Nations did not even take heed. Atete Melissa, how are you? Magasimba, long time. Mnomboro wa women. And it win-win in the square monomai. Saka, you find we have engaged the security, United Nations Security Council regarding Zimbabwe issue. It's telling them that, look, these are what we witness in Zimbabwe are terrorist attacks. Those terrorist attacks, if they happen in Somalia, if they happen in Kenya, they will be all over the newspaper, people crying, terrorist attack. I don't know why they think terrorist attacks are only done by the Muslims. Because every time a Muslim hack to death people, then the newspapers, the Western newspapers, they go and say, oh, this is a terrorist attack. But when a Zimbabwe terrorist hacks to death people at a rally, nobody raised an issue of terrorism. So there is something lacking here. This is why we engaged the United Nations Security Organ to say, look, the Security Council, look, terrorism is terrorism. Whether committed by Muslims, is still terrorism. Whether committed by Zimbabweans, is still terrorism. And the terrorists must be treated the same when they hack innocent people to death. Because politics does not promote terrorism. Politics does not promote terrorism. Politics is something that people should go there voluntarily, support any party you want democratically. It does not mean that when you are exercising your democracy according to your country's constitution, then you must be hacked to death. Once people are hacked to death, we don't call it democracy, we don't call it politics anymore. So we eliminate the issue of political violence. It is no longer political violence, but these are acts of terrorism. Please read my message. Sometimes when I'm presenting Justina, I will be like focusing on something else, but just a target, I can read it. Did you hear this very distressing message I got from 𝗟𝗲𝘁'𝗀, the 𝗣𝗶𝗺 parliamentary candidate for Mbizo elections? There is nothing further on that. Kusadawa and 𝗣𝗶𝗺 wasaende kunochema mumwe. I can't see that message. In the name of ZANU-PF, you are automatically cleared. Yeah. So what I'm saying, sorry guys, I was in the I was already presenting. So sometimes when I start reading comments, I get off the mark. Brother, you the journalists must publish pictures of perpetrators, take videos and see whose family are they from. It's another issue as well, Mother. Thank you so much. That it's no longer political violence, but it's now acts of terrorism, which should be acted upon immediately. Because the National Security Council must understand that when innocent people are hacked to death by armed people, it's no longer a political violence, but it's now an act of terrorism, which the National Security Council, the United Nations Security Council must intervene. If they don't intervene, they are promoting anarchy and they are promoting chaos. Because as it stands now, a lot of people are saying, can we identify the perpetrators? Can we identify where they live? Can we identify who are their relatives? Can we identify or can we follow them? If they go to the bar to drink, follow them. If they go to church, follow them. If they go wherever they go, follow them. So that they feel that the people of Zimbabwe are not happy at all. Because we were probably a better country in SADC with no violence, with no looting and so forth. We were the best country. But we should never tolerate these terrorists. So we are calling upon all Zimbabweans to be vigilant when it comes to the issues of terrorism, because we are under terrorist attack. ZANU-PF is a terrorist organization. And when a terrorist attack occurs, the people of a country must be ready to defend themselves. This is why you see even in Ukraine, despite all these heavy bombings, the Ukrainians are fighting back. Because this is an invasion. You are having your political rally, you are peaceful listening to your president, all of a sudden, invaders invade your privacy, start killing you. That is terrorism. So what we are saying is, I'm calling upon every Zimbabwean now to say it's your duty to protect yourself. It's your duty to be vigilant. It's your duty to make sure that if you are attacked, you fight back. We would rather fight back and all be incarcerated. Look, because if it means they are going to arrest 4,000 people for fighting back, then let them arrest us. If police and judiciary act fairly, ZANU-PF will be out of power in seconds, definitely. And if also Zimbabweans, if they act fairly, we are definitely going to see ZANU-PF go. ZANU-PF can go today if Zimbabweans decide that ZANU-PF must go. So what I'm saying is, the values enshrined in, for instance, United Nations Charter of 1945, which aims to protect the civilians, which was passed at the General Assembly resolution to try and protect the people. They established the United Nations Office of Counter-terrorism. This is what I want Zimbabweans to understand. And I think it's high time you, the 𝗍𝗶𝘁, have guns. ZANU-PF need violence, so the best way to deal with them is an eye for an eye. We are tired of their nonsense. This is what I'm saying. If you go to America, there are private armies. If you go to South Africa is our neighbor. There are private armies there in South Africa. And in Zimbabwe, I think it's high time we should have our own private army. Because even if you go to DRC, to Mozambique, you can tell Dyke taking his private army from South Africa to go and fight terrorists in there. So if it happens in Zimbabwe as well, we definitely need a private army in Zimbabwe, where if all such terrorist attack occurs, then the private army will engage that private army to follow the terrorists and make sure that all attackers or terrorists are shot dead. This is what we are saying. Even if you go to Mozambique today, the Rwandese are there killing the terrorists. So if it comes to the issue of Zimbabwe, if we have got our own private army, if such terrorist attacks occur, then our army will pursue these terrorists and kill them. Because they have killed someone. You cannot spare life of a terrorist who goes on rampage, killing innocent people. Even in the United Kingdom, terrorists are shot dead in this country. If you go anywhere in the country, anywhere, in any country in this world, terrorists are shot dead. So such people who terrorize innocent civilians, hack to death innocent people, unarmed civilians, we have witnessed it in the UK, along London Bridge. Sometimes last year but one, where a terrorist had a knife, went on stabbing people who were just going around doing their own businesses. And do you know what? The British police reacted and they shot dead that terrorist. Because there is nowhere we should keep terrorists amongst us. And this is why I am saying, I know the people of Zimbabwe, most of them did not know that the United Nations, they've got a United Nations Office of Counter-terrorism, which we should engage now and send all those videos of people being attacked. Because this one recognized the importance of countering terrorism and preventing violence, extremism. What we have witnessed in Zimbabwe, this is what we call violent extremism. This is what we call terrorism. And this needs to be prevented. This needs to. And do you have the arms? It's not about the arms, it's about recruitment. The arms we can buy. We can buy arms. We need a private army to make sure that all these terrorists are tracked down and are shot dead. Terrorists, terrorists must be tracked down and they must be shot dead. This is a resolution which was passed by United Nations General Assembly, number 71-291 of 2017. The resolution stated that United Nations must establish, or they established, a United Nations Office of Counter-terrorism. And that office recognized the importance of counter-terrorism and preventing violent extremism. ZANU-PF youth are radicalized, something that we must prevent in our country. They are radicalized. When such youth, when such youth or such people are recruited into terrorist organizations like ZANU-PF, then we need to deal with them ruthlessly, because these are terrorists, people who attack innocent civilians and kill them for unprovoked attacks. So when there are unprovoked attacks, then it means people must form private armies. When you form private armies, track down such terrorists and kill them. This is even happening in Nigeria, where Boko Harams are being tracked down by the soldiers and shot dead. If you go to Mozambique today, Daig has got a private army from South Africa that is tracking down these terrorists and killing them. So we must have a private army for Zimbabwe as well. If something happens like this, then we track down the terrorists and kill them. You understand what I mean? Terrorists must be killed. A very good example, I don't mince my words. Is private army lawful? Yes, it's lawful. Even if you visit the constitution of Zimbabwe, you can form like a private security company. You can form. This is why you see there are 𝗍𝗍 has got weapons. A lot of private security companies in our country has got weapons of their own. You will still remember the issue of 𝗍𝗶𝗃, who took his company's rifle, went and shot down people, and he said these were armed robbers. So that means we can be allowed to have weapons in Zimbabwe and track down terrorists and kill them. Yuda uriseko mwana wamai wanzwa here kuti mhondi dzakauraya pomwe dzaburiswa and the police did not provide reasons for releasing them. Obvious reason is 𝗟𝗏, and this has led to the resignation of Godzi, who is the Attorney General. The Attorney General has thrown in the towel. He has stood and told these old Madaras that please don't allow these people to tarnish the country further. And if they commit murder, please let them be arrested and face justice. But alright, definitely we are at crossroads now, so we must make sure that we do something to protect our people in Zimbabwe. So we are engaging the United Nations Office of Counter-terrorism, and we are telling them, we are busy writing petitions to them, busy emailing to them, showing them what is happening in our country and what has happened in London, what happened in France, what happened in Kenya. This is exactly what is happening in Zimbabwe, where the youth are radicalized, they are engaging in extremism violence. So we need a strong counter-intelligence organization to help us fight these people. We want to ensure that justice is done in Zimbabwe. So in these endeavors to make our country a better place to live, and to counter and prevent this type of terrorism and violent extremism, there are few people who can help us, who knows the value of life, and those people must be approached. Historically, ladies and gentlemen, terrorist groups like ZANU-PF, they attempt to strike events rallies, where a lot of people gather. If you go to America, there was a sporting event where terrorists went and blew people there, killing them. So you see, thank you, 𝗍𝗏𝘁𝗃. So you see that terrorism or terrorist groups like ZANU-PF, when people gather, they attempt to strike on those people. They are not solely targeted because they are attended by large groups of people, but also because they represent what terrorists aim to destroy. So if you see like a terrorist organization like ZANU-PF, it aims to destroy opposition in our country, which was clearly stated by the Vice President of Zimbabwe, who said they are like lice, you must squash them. to the extent that even flies don't land on them. Those were terroristic words. Those were terroristic words. 𝗪𝗲𝘁'𝘀. A security company is a private entity, a political party. I am not saying a political party must form Jacobs. Get me properly here. I am not saying a political party must form an armed wing. I am saying Zimbabweans must have a private army. In the event that such terrorist attacks occur, we are engaged to follow those terrorists and gun them down. I think I'm explaining it in simple terms. I am not talking of a political party forming an army or so. I am saying Zimbabweans, regardless of political affiliation, we must have a private army, and that private army can be engaged to track down terrorists who terrorize people, like what we saw last time, and gun them down. There is no room for terrorism in our country. And thanks, Jola. Guys, we are wasting time. The power is in people's hands. Zimbabweans need to uprise, but we fear. Definitely, Mkoma Douglas, my young brother Doug. The people of Zimbabwe have got power. They don't know what power they wield until someone stand up and say, it's called a People's Protection Unit. Yes, we definitely need that People's Protection Unit, where if someone is attacked at home, can phone us and say, look, we are under attack. Then we go there, we deal with the attacks, and those people who will be in that army will be paid. And not in Zimbabwe. We want it to be done in Zimbabwe, because if we continue to engage like United Nations counterintelligence or counter-terrorism, the United Nations Office of Counter-terrorism, what they do is they put together laws that if you are a member state, if you are an affiliate of United Nations, you should allow that to happen in your country. Because what we are dealing with is terrorism. We are not dealing with the Zimbabwe army. We are not dealing with the Zimbabwe police. But we are dealing with the terrorists within our country. If they attack, we don't go and shoot them without them attacking anyone. But if they attack someone and we are told we are engaged, we should have our helicopters to fly, move around them, and take and crack their skulls. It's allowed. This is why there is United Nations Office of Counter-terrorism. Mkoma 𝗍𝗲𝘁'𝘀. And to say, I have behind that Mr. Judge. So, historically, ladies and gentlemen, terrorists, they attempt and continue to strike my rallies, my events, my sporting events, my rallies. You recently, my band, they are not solely targeted, my rallies are, because they are attended by large groups of people. No, but also because they represent what terrorists aim to destroy in our society and across the world. So you see, politics is a rally is an extraordinary event that generates a lot of people, that generate positive values, that generate an unparalleled unifying force which can transcend civilizational and cultural barriers. So you will see that rallies, they give us this opportunity to come together as Zimbabweans, to associate, where they say birds of same feathers flock together. When you are wearing your yellow and 𝗍𝗶𝘃, people would identify you that you are Nelson Chamisa supporter and that you are a 𝗍𝗶𝘃 supporter. You understand? So those unparalleled unifying power that leaders have, 𝗍𝗶𝗃𝘁 really say, I almost hit your inbox today 𝗣𝗿𝗺𝗁𝗃 almost hit your inbox today. A very serious issue that needs to be tackled. And kumashepard murse sorry kuto dzoka kubasa ndanonoka kubata program. No worries Mkomasten, we just started here. So what I'm saying is politics has got an unparalleled unifying power. Politics will probably give us or generate positive values of community, a sense of belonging. Wearing yellow, I've got a sense of belonging to Nelson Chamisa. You understand? That can destroy all the cultural barriers that you can witness in any country. We are going, President Nelson Chamisa, and what's your take on the SADC leaving dictators do as they wish in the region? The SADC is like, let me borrow from our brother down in South Africa, Julius Malema. He said SADC is a grouping of dictators. It's a club of dictators who protect each other, who cannot sit on one table and say, stop killing people. What you are doing is wrong. But they will sit down and say, oh, your people want to remove you. How best can we help you? Do you want weapons? Do you want firearms? Do you want money? South Africa will give Zimbabwe money. Botswana will give Zimbabwe money. Ndibade mwana basa rifambire mberi. Thanks 𝗍𝗺𝗁𝗃, I'll come titaure. Anzi mambo ifoma private army yacho muri pai namdara. Dagi private army ainetse kufoma mwana wamai. Tunoifoma muZimbabwe imomo we recruit. Kana tafila kuti we need training outside the country, we have got that right to take our youth or our people we recruit to go and train elsewhere. Because what they need is salary. You won't be surprised that most of Zimbabwe soldiers will run away there and will join us because we will be paying them handsomely. You understand? What they need is just salary. Our soldiers are getting $100 US a month, and we pay our soldiers $2,000, the least paid junior, $2,000 US a month. Obvious, we will recruit all Zimbabwe soldiers. They will come to us because what they want is a salary, and because our army will have a limited number of soldiers. If we say we need 10,000 people, then we'll recruit 10,000 people, and they will receive training, awaiting to assist the Zimbabwe army to defend our country in eventuality of like an attack. We will be an army that is awaiting being hired to do work. And 𝗏𝗁𝗃, yes, we understand you very well, but guys, you know very well in Zimbabwe can't do anything we can't. Or because Mkoma Christopher, it's because we don't know our rights. We don't know our rights. That private army, we've got right to form it. We don't know, people do not know our rights. I am not saying the MDC must form an army, no. But I am saying as Zimbabweans, we need a protection unit that will protect us against any forms of attack. Even if the attacks come from government, then that unit that attacks us, we deal with it. How can we start that private army in, guys? This is something we must explore, Mkoma Christopher. If we can assist one another, we need to explore that, explore our constitution. What does Zimbabwe constitution say? Soldiers and police are suffering, yes. If you look, if we start paying our soldiers $2,000 a month, US dollars, whilst in the Zimbabwe National Army they get $100, obvious, most of them, they will leave ZNA, they will join us. South Africa, they are doing it. 𝗍𝗿𝗃 has got his own private army in South Africa, right inside South Africa. In other words, we need secret service agents, yes. So it may be regarded as it's not a terrorist group. South Africa, the 𝗣𝗿𝗁𝗁𝗁 has got his army today. He's fighting in Mozambique. We will not be only centered in Zimbabwe. We can be hired by Zambians. We can be hired by Mozambicans. We can be hired by whatever country that needs our services. But what we need is just a private army of about 10,000 people. Mgoma, check on my Facebook posts. People are supporting that idea. Let's go for it. Yes, we definitely need that idea. So it's an idea that people should start exploring now. Because we have seen too much innocent blood being spilled. Teachers in South Africa earns about 20,000 per month. A teacher in Zimbabwe is being promised $175. You understand? What is $175 a month? Why should we pay soldiers to join us? The future will be for... Yeah, but they need salaries as well. They need to look after their children. They've got families. People they need to send to school. Some of them are breadwinners. So it's something that we must explore. Because there is what we call United Nations Office of Counter-terrorism. We definitely need a constitution. We definitely need a way. Just like 𝗣𝗿𝗁𝗁𝗁 has got his own army in South Africa. He has got his own soldiers. Today, as I'm speaking, they are fighting. They've got helicopters. They've got tankers. They are right in Mozambique, fighting there. Helping the Mozambican government to deal with the terrorists. Hey, Drake, I spoke about that yesterday. Guys, I'm my live because you guys, Drake, but I have to answer you anyway because you are the people who contributed. You are the people who contributed. So what it means is we had a problem with GoFundMe last time. When we had a problem, ZANU-PF people wrote to GoFundMe and lied that that money was not meant for what we had planned for that money. So there were difficulties in releasing the money from GoFundMe to go and pay for the vehicle. By now, 𝗤𝗄𝘁'𝗀𝘃𝗁𝗁, they've identified the car and everything is in order, guys. And in morning, saka problem yanga iri kutora mari yacho. GoFundMe yanga receive matsamba kubva Ramai 𝗍𝗁𝗁𝗁 and company. Vanga vanyora GoFundMe kuti hanzi mari iyoyo is for terrorist activities that these people want to engage in. So that money yanga yabatwa. And bruh, that's a good idea. As well, police and soldiers are abused. Yes, definitely. So what we want is let's explore ways and means of having a private army. If they don't allow us to have a private army in Zimbabwe, if they stop us, we still have other countries like Zambia, Mozambique. We can go there, look for training ground. We can train our private army. We can still be based in Mozambique and other countries. If those in Zimbabwe want our services, they just tell us that, guys, we need your services. We go into Zimbabwe. We go and operate there. Help those people who need our services. But what we should be doing is we must be centered in Zimbabwe. If we are to build our own barracks, we need our own barracks in Zimbabwe, training camps in Zimbabwe. There are a lot of training camps we can use. Zimbabwe National Army has got a lot of training camps. We can hire those training camps for a period of 6 months whilst we'll be training our own people. Basic infantry, firearms use, a little bit of war tactics so that they can assist in times of war. Even if Zimbabwe is under attack, they can come and engage us. They can pay us, say, look, we need your services. Let's have your services. So what I'm saying is, because of these historical terrorist groups that attack innocent people like what we witnesses, when people gather at a rally, they will come and attack you. ZANU-PF has said they don't belong to ZANU-PF. A letter was written by ZANU-PF. They said those people who attacked and killed people are not ZANU-PF people. So ZANU-PF has disowned them. A letter is there disowning those guys. So if they are disowned by their political party, then we know these are terrorists, which we should be dealing with them. We should be gunning them down one by one, because they are terrorists. Because what they intend is to try and they target innocent people. They target large groups of people. Their aim is to destroy and kill people, to cause anguish in society. And this has happened across the world. So you see that political rallies are places where people should be address them, telling them we are non-violent. I don't know what's happening to my network, guys. It's quite, so what I'm saying now is, I don't know what's happening to the internet. It's the poor internet. So what I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, my events, agada senga noungana vana vanhu vakawanda, like my political gatherings. These are events that people must feel free to take their families and listen to their president speaking. This is why uchiona kana ZANU-PF ikatora mabhazi ikatuta vanhu vayo, no one is bothered about ZANU-PF. People say leave them do whatever they want, because they are a political party. They want to talk to their supporters. When they gather, leave them to gather. MDCT yamunzura kana ikaungana hapana ne-right yekuiataka. Regai vaungane vanhu, because they want to talk to their people. Let them talk to their people. CCC kana is a newly formed political party. Iri kutengesa ma-policies ayo to the people of Zimbabwe. If they gather their own people to address them, why can't we leave them address their people? To them is significant. My fool, my flora. Guys, sorry guys, depend a minute. Ashwins, this noise is too much. Okay. Sorry guys, I was trying to quell down the background noise, and the best way is to trace those terrorists and kill them. This is a big start. How life is take the pictures, 𝗍𝗶𝗃𝗁 one by one, kupisira mudzimba chaiko. And ZANU. This is what ZANU-PF has said. They have disowned them. So when they disowned them, that means law should take. If you attack people at a rally, it's terrorism. Number two, no two ways about it. Information they say is mkoma munodzione yeah pakaipa. Trutaura, and no need to be sorry. Thank you so much, guys. So what I'm saying is, it's internationally known that every time when people are attacked by terrorists, governments react. Because the government won't stop. Government is not a spectator. The government must take action against the terrorists. So every time when people are attacked, like what we saw in Kenya, people were attacked and the Kenyan government had to react. What we saw in Mozambique, people were attacked and the government had to react. Other private armies came to assist the government of Mozambique because there are terrorist attacks where people are beheaded. When it happened in the United Kingdom, you saw the British police reacting, killing that terrorist who went around stabbing people along London Bridge. So what I'm saying is, we have got terrorists who were disowned by a political party known as ZANU-PF. Most of them, they had ZANU-PF cards in their pockets. And they came and started stabbing people, killing people. And ZANU-PF has disowned them. So it's all up to us as Zimbabweans to make sure that every terrorist who killed our brother must be killed. That's what it means. Every terrorist who attacked those people must be killed. The government has disowned them. ZANU-PF has disowned them. And these are extremist people who were radicalized. So they have got, they are a machete gang. They killed a policeman, remember, last time. And they were not even arrested. So when this orgy of violence continue without people of Zimbabwe taking action, then it means we are subjected to subhuman standards by those terrorists. And the United Nations has seen that. This is why we are compiling all the videos, every evidence that we have to say this. If you don't declare this a terrorist attack, then we don't know what will be known as terrorism. You understand? So what we are saying now is ZANU-PF has disowned them, and these people were domiciled in one of ZANU-PF's officials' residence, which people should raise to the ground, because it's a hub for terrorists. If I had a drone, I could even bomb it, because it's a hub for terrorists. Let's not be fooled, Mr. Yuda. These terrorists are working for Dambudzo. Yes, but he has disowned them, so we have got right to take them down one by one, because they have been disowned by Dambudzo. Yeah. So I spoke a lot about the pre-election conditions, which has caused sanctions in Zimbabwe, targeted sanctions to certain individuals. But I did a presentation about that. So you see, politics pushes people to be better. This is what I understand. If you come to the United Kingdom, the way they do their politics, it teaches them to be better. It teaches them to aim higher and further. This is why you see this country is well developed. You go to France, a well developed country. And the problem in Zimbabwe, we don't have leaders, but we have bosses, country owners. We wish we can have leaders, 𝗟𝗏𝘁. We can start, Mkoma Christopher. Let's be leaders. The leaders, because no one is going to bring us leaders. But you and me, we can start shaping the future of Zimbabwe. Let's be leaders. Because if we wait to say we are going to have a leader, leaders won't come. Leaders will never come, because you are the person who is available at the moment. You can be a leader. I can be a leader. So let's be leaders. And the one had 𝗟𝗲𝘁 farm address. Yes, that 𝗟𝗲𝘁 farm address is next to Dambudzo Mnangagwa's farm. And most of those people around that 𝗟𝗲𝘁 farm are relatives to Dambudzo Mnangagwa. You understand? Because no one can be given a farm next to the president's farm, unless if you are related to the president or if you belong to a special branch in Zimbabwe. An extremely deadly storm, bro. He is gonna wish he wasn't born, definitely. So what we are saying is, politics must push people to be better, to aim higher and further. This is why you see, if you come to England, you like the way they do their politics. If you go to America, you like the way they do their politics. They even take the president of America or the boss. Once you say you want to be president and you are going into the head, you resign from being president of a country. Then you are just a candidate like any other candidates. You must come on television and debate, telling us what you're gonna offer if you become a president. You remember, you understand. So politics must promote tolerance. What you heard President Nelson Chamisa saying before the attack, when he was making an address to the nation, this is why ZANU-PF had to disrupt the address. if you listen to the full statement before the attacks commenced, you can tell that the gentleman was promoting what we call tolerance. He was promoting equality in terms of politics. He was appealing to the strength of the communities to say, look guys, let's not fight one another. Let's not be violent. He was appealing to the people to be resilient, to make sure that we build our country. But what we want, you know, violence, like I said yesterday, violence is a time bomb, is an atomic bomb to the economy. There is no country that is run under a violent outfit which can prosper in terms of economy. What you are witnessing today in our country is because of the economy, it's because of violence. Our economy will never rise because of violence. Politics must give us this natural competitive instincts to say, ndoda kumudya chamisa. Kwete kuti ndoda kumcrusha like lice. That is a terroristic language which should never be tolerated anywhere in the world. And that type of language should not come from a vice president. If he was a mere supporter with ZANU, people would not take him seriously. But a vice president of a big political party like ZANU-PF threatening to crush people like lice, that even Nunza Imari Papo, that is not a political address, but that is a terroristic address. Instead, you can tell that the gentleman who is addressing people wearing Mnangagwa's like his vice president, that gentleman himself, he is not a person of sound mind. This is why manzonashitaura next time Chiwenga akarwara, maZimbabweans musaende pakunonamata kuna Mwari kuti Mwari save Satan. No, Zimbabweans, you must not do that. Let Satan go. Chitsike Satan. We will be referring to people like Constantino Chiwenga. Kuningachitsikwe Satan icho chiachia. Andiona. Ukadakora chiti Satan icho, look at the way he treated his wife. Which is another reason why the Attorney General is resigned. Attorney General has said, I had talks with this Badara to say, look, the way you are influencing courts in regard to Mary Chiwenga's cases, they will destroy the fabric of justice in this country. And Chiwenga was baying for that Godzi's blood. And that Godzi has resigned today. Definitely. Huh?
Okay.
I'm okay, dear. How are you?
I'm good.
Just one sniper could take Zimbabwe out of misery. Definitely. Chiwenga has no heart. See how he is persecuting his wife. He must go and rot in hell. Definitely. So such type of people, the way he persecutes his wife, he does not worth to hold a position. And do you know what? Chiwenga has told Mnangagwa that never appoint and develop person as vice president. 𝗟𝗲𝘁'𝘀 uzachamisa tinoda kuenda kuhondo tisunungure Zimbabwe. President Nelson Chamisa unfortunately cannot lead an uprising like war and so forth. That gentleman is democratic. Chamisa is the definition of peace. I wish people would know. Chamisa is the definition of peace. If you look at when he was youth chairperson, he had all the most powerful youth in the country, including 𝗤𝗏𝘁'𝘀. 𝗏𝗏𝘁'𝘀 wakabhondoka kudhara. But he's a politician. He's the definition of democracy. He's the definition of peace. Ndosaka tiri kutaura tikati, we need to be leaders as well, isusu 𝗤𝗏𝘁'𝘀. Let's not wait for someone to come and lead us, but let's set the example. Bob, I can see my friend here. Let's set the example. We need to be leaders. Yesterday, remember I said, when I need to talk about certain issues, I cannot involve politicians. Politicians are voted into power and are voted out of power. But there must be some permanent structure somewhere where we should be talking to. And Chamisa will never go to war. It's not in his genes. Definitely, he's not violent. He is not violent. This is why you see Shwenga, as old as he is, Vanamnanga 82 years old. Vachita nanga who crash. They have got no policies for the country. They cannot articulate the future of Zimbabwe. What they only know is the language of violence. Let's crash. Why can't you crash the economy? If you watch, there is a video that I posted which was sent on WhatsApp. ZANU-PF people wachimaya matombo mu road. Maibenge mune tara. Vakachimaya matombo amene vakadasa tara here kana vadaroza say. These are issues that Vanamnangagwa must be addressing to the nation. But they can't address policies of a country. This is why you see they can't run a country. What they only know is violence. We crash. Let's crash it. Chakubata. I told Rene point. That's not it. I heard President Nelson Chamisa said, with this country, Yagatorwa for one man, one vote. With our parents sacrificed their lives to fight for one man, one vote. That means the pen, we said, let's remove the gun and use the pen. But ZANU-PF has refused to put the guns down and take the pen. They know the pen is mightier than the gun. So what we need to do is, when they understand this language of a gun, and when they go and attack people like that, as terrorists, we must have a public protection unit that will protect Zimbabweans. If you see a party using force on people, it means you have no support. Definitely, ZANU-PF has got no support. If you look at 𝗍𝗶𝗃, let's look at 𝗍𝗶𝗃. Despite taking all ZUPCO buses and spread them across the country to bring people, Mnangagwa failed to raise the number of people Chamisa raised without busing anyone. They are uneducated. Nothing good will come out of ZANU-PF, definitely. I'm still resisting Zimbabwe. That I wrong with 𝗣𝗿𝗺. I'm 𝗣𝗿𝗺 guy, but I respect all leadership people. So Chiwenga has refused. Chiwenga said no 𝗣𝗿𝗺 guy should be even appointed as vice president. This is why you see they can't replace Kembo Mohad, but Chiwenga has refused. Chiwenga said no to 𝗣𝗿𝗺's. You understand? It's so pathetic. But what we say, like what I said last time, is we are lucky, ladies and gentlemen. We have got a president who is from Masvingo. Masvingo Mashona, I don't know. You know, Masvingo is type of language I want to here. This president of ours from Masvingo can speak even 𝗣𝗿𝗺. The CIO will be behind us. Mdara told you, CIOs, don't worry about the CIOs. Don't worry about them. Last time they got office yacha muti mwa CIO wacho. Tine vamwe watototaura nawo. Atizotauri mazita tingauraisa vana vevanhu. Roads are being fixed with the people wearing ZANU-PF t-shirts. Don't they have construction work suits? And vachisama Dagam road. Then they call it Tagadzira road and a resurface road. Don't worry about CIOs. CIO is just an organization like safeguard. Don't worry about them. They are just like safeguard, just like Even if you go under my national duties, they are called Chaminuka civilians. We call them civilian Chaminuka. They are not part of the uniformed forces. Don't worry about them. Even I'm waiting news. A lot of these guys were shot and killed when Mugabe was removed. And some so don't worry about them. They are just as good as safeguard. They've got no power to do anything. They've got no power. They can't. You can't see them holding weapons, fighting. They can't do that. They are zipoko. So good. Saka let's not worry about zipoko. Because muzipoko imomo tinazo muzipoko zirimo imomo. So tikala utaura information. Pa ndakabotaura imwe information ndakapuwa chimwe chipoko bana. Kukoka manyiwa kwa Harare. Koka manyiwa. So takateerera 𝗍𝗵𝗃𝗃 achitaura. Maofisi mukaita kugeda kwemeno andimona svika mufesi wangu azonditi Shapiro ndimboroera bhora pasi kana zvaita we keep in touch andinoona saka tine information yatichipuwa nezvipoko. Most of the information yatotaura panapa iri from within nemaplans awo. A good example, ndakaudzwa nevamwe army general achataurisisa ravo zvikanzi taurirai vachamisa kuti ngavafambe vakapfeka bulletproof vest kusvika 2023 apera. Kusvika ma-elections aitwa zvikanzi there are people who have been assigned to assassinate him. They want to shoot and kill him. Zvokuti anenge ari pastage obva angosnipwa. Oza muZimbabwe mune pfuti, munoziva pfuti inonzi 303 vanhu havazivi. Ndakaudzwa mumwe bhamba pfuti inonzi 303 inorova nzou iya. I can snipe you from a distance of 2 kilometers. Ndishandisa 303, very powerful rifle. Ipfuti yekuti at 2 kilometers away ndokutora, as long as ndine powerful microscope on it, fitted on it, ndokutora. Ndokutora andoona. Saka masnipers vanonga vari kana 2 kilometers away akakutarisa strong bine aya anokutora microscope anokutora. Saka it's what we have been informed by these guys are saying. You tell your president kana achida upenyu hwake afamba akapfeka vest bulletproof andimona. Saka ndakatiwo kune mkoma Edi murise babara pose zviri kufamba here. Saka ndakatiwo kune vari pedyo navachamisa svitsaiwo message iyoyo. Ndakaitaura pajekerere nezuro ndikati svitsaiwo message iyoyo kuna vachamisa kuti pese pamuri kufamba mudhara pfekai bulletproof. Kune pfuti dzakaipa muZimbabwe memwe inokutora iti 2 kilometers inokutora. Inini ndagara panapo ukandipa 303 ndokutora iti 2 kilometers ndokutora ndokuturunura andimona. Hanzi iwe na Lloyd Mariste Dembe muri mapuppet of the Western countries. Some people were thinking that Hanzi, I'm not even a puppet. Western countries, they don't even know me. I'm just known in Zimbabwe. I'm just known in Zimbabwe. I do my Western countries akawanda. I don't sell an idea in a Western country, but I sell idea yekuti maZimbabweans must be free. Our soldiers must be paid sufficiently. Our teachers must be paid sufficiently. Our policemen must be paid sufficiently. They must have a life because they are contracted to work for the government for a certain period. Within that period, no upenyu hwako paunenge huri. Hanzi border gaze inoita nezvekungomacha chete nekunorova vanhu kumaruzevha. Ndo basa remaborder gaze. Unonomachira sadza baba, left right left. Dai vanhu vaiziva drill marwadziro aroita so. Uchiswinga front and rear. Swing arms. Uchimachira sadza baba, wapedzapo unorova mbuya vane musoro wakachena. And thanks for the information. So then let's make sure that the security is also placed in those 2 kilometers radius. Definitely. Definitely. Keep on talking about that issue, Mkoma Yuda. I really appreciate your good job. Thank you, Mkoma Ishmael Chirindo. Thank you so much. So you understand that when we are talking about security at rallies, this is what I'm referring to. Someone who is going to put a contingent plan, who is going to put security strategy, must understand what I'm saying here. That even with a 303 rifle, you can take a target from 2 kilometers away. So we must make sure that when we are planning security at these rallies, these attacks must be the first and last attacks. Must be the first and last attacks. We must never allow this to happen again. Because terrorists, they attack. When people, they will come. You won't be surprised that amongst terrorists, one who just to blow us off. You wonder what that person benefit. I've seen stupid people. Don't say my Muslims are terrorists, no. But we have got some stupid people in our religion where they get bombs strapped around them. Ukanzwa achitaura anenge achigutsirira musoro achiudzwa. Hanzi ukafa ukaenda kudenga kune 72 virgins waiting for you to ravish. Iwe wazvisungirira mabhambo, my explosive around your chest, around the chi. When you blow yourself, you don't spare your dick. It is torn apart. If you go to heaven, if you are given 72 virgins, what are you gonna use? Because your penis has been torn apart by explosives, and you are into pieces. You are in pieces. That people, it will be very difficult for people to pick your pieces, to piece them together to form a corpse. You understand? Security yanero in a footer, ina foot, I found a foot. Those guys are just intelligent people. I am telling you, they've kept 𝗟𝗲𝘁 surviving, and they're keeping Nero surviving. Vakapenga mafesa akapenga usawaderera. Vanobaiza mabamba wayuda. Yeah, vanobaiza mkomajo. No chokwadi. So you see what I'm saying here is politics must be fundamental, must give or must be a fundamental and true human value. We must see it from politics. This is the reason why the Office of Counterintelligence is proud to present to the world some measures that people must be taking to avoid this. So we have got events coming now, ladies and gentlemen, in Bulawayo, where we expect our president to go and address people. I like Bulawayo. Honestly, probably I'm biased because I'm Yao, I'm not sure now. But I like people from Bulawayo. I've been in love with the Bulawayo. You know, Anzi bulletproof kaya pap na boita oranya sho. Yakto uya, don't worry, Mkoma Nelson. And by the thing for the future, tofanira kuita marale mu grounds, muno achipinda achisechwa kwede pa open space. Sometimes open space are an advantage. Good, they don't limit the number of people anopinda emomo. Chamisa is a crowd puller. Look at what happened in Highfields. If datakana Murufaro Stadium kai itakadik, datakana kumbizo stadium, it was gonna be a very small stadium, Mbizo. So sometimes open places, they've got an advantage that a lot of people come. But we need to put some contingent plans. We need to put some security measures around to make sure that such attacks are quickly picked up before they happen. And we must have my drones hovering, ashitora my videos and so forth. Panenge pana attack, my drones ashitora my videos and my pictures. One washibata munwavo. Strong security, powerful, yes. How come attackers come near people and no one sees them? They were wearing yellow. Mkoma Samuel. this is what I was saying before, that if I come to you wearing this yellow, written 𝗙𝗵𝘁'', obvious, you would think I am a comrade. This is why Makanzwa President Chamisa got because those people were wearing yellow as well, and they were attacking people. Why don't I hit and run out of you understand? Disadvantage here, open apana, apana anosechwa no disadvantage par open. And apana anosechwa. Saka quite a lot of security contingents plan should be in place. Informed 𝗣𝗿𝗶𝗃𝘁𝗄 informed he does. So what I'm saying is the Office of Counter-terrorism here in the United Nations is the office that we are engaging now to say, if you managed to declare those people in Mozambique as terrorists, why not declare these ZANU-PF youth in our country as terrorists? Because it's high time to snipe those terrorists one by one. That's the high time now. Namgonzo waMpumalanga South vakamirira nyama yekugocha baya wabaya kwakaipa kare kwakaipa. Bulawayo, I just like Bulawayo. It made me so proud during Morgan Tsvangirai's time. When we went to Bulawayo na Mdara Tsvangirai, donations from Bowen. Thank you, Angeline. Thank you so much. 𝗙𝗵𝘁 fund donation for our departed hero. The link has been put here. Let me pin it down. I'll pin it down so that anyone with $1, apana mari inonzidiki, hakuna mari inonzidiki. Ukaita $1, ukaisa $2, ukaisa chi, mari imari inowanda. Saka paiswa hapo donation GoFundMe yamboweni, let's assist. Ndokuzivaya munerudo kana kubva tiri kumachinja uko kusvika taenda ku 𝗵𝗶 munerudo. So what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, it assists us kuita malive akadasewa, and the hanzi ZANU-PF at independent failed to raise an arm of 10,000. Definitely ZANU-PF aina vanhu icho ndo chokwadi. We definitely need drones. We definitely need drones to move around and pick the faces of those idiots when they come to try and attack us. Serious question, Mr. Yuda. Has anyone approached the UN regarding this terrorism? I am approaching the UN. I am Atete Susan Rice. I am approaching the UN. There is what we call United Nations Counter-terrorism Unity Report, which was commissioned in 2017. So I'm approaching them. I'm doing it as a citizen of Zimbabwe, as a victim of ZANU-PF. And I'm going to start highlighting to them attacks which happened from 2000 until today. Attacks which happened in 2018, 2019. We've got videos to show which are authentic evidence to them to declare ZANU-PF a terrorist organization. Once ZANU-PF is declared a terrorist organization, then we have got powers to deal with those idiots. We have got powers to deal with them. This is why you see, if a government is declared a terrorist government, like what happened in Libya, people had powers to deal with Gaddafi. Both the international community had agreed to say Gaddafi is a terrorist. He was sponsoring terrorism. Now we've got Emmerson Mnangagwa, we have sent soldiers to assist Russia. Russia is terrorizing Ukraine. Zimbabwe becomes part of a terrorist group. If we apply to United Nations, we are likely to be granted that status to say, oh, Zimbabwe is now a terrorist group. It's a proud owner of terrorism. This is why you see we must deal with the Zimbabwe government in terms of international laws. When we are dealing with the Zimbabwe government, we must consider the lawfulness of our actions. atidi kuzoitwa materrorist ekunzi wana 𝗣𝗵𝗵𝗃𝘁𝗃 muengland auchabvumiri kupinda zvanakoni izvezvo. We might be fighting a good war, but if we become brutal, then it means we have lost direction. So we don't want to be international terrorists, but what we want is to be seen as freedom fighters. People who will be fighting for the freedom. Never attack any civilian. If you want to be, you see what Putin is doing? He has lost the plot. He's just bombing civilians, killing civilians. He doesn't care. What he is against is the government of Ukraine. But he is bombing, killing civilians. He is now becoming worse than Hitler. And that lunatic is now threatening to detonate, just imagine, because of Ukraine. And the stupid leader is threatening to detonate a nuclear bomb. You understand? So we sometimes the intelligence team needs to sit down and scrutinize his brains. He is not normal. You cannot detonate a nuclear bomb because Ukraine has refused to join you. Has refused to join you. And then you want to detonate a nuclear bomb. You want to destroy the people because Ukraine has said no. We can't come and join you. We can't be your friends. You understand? So what I'm saying is, we have got a terrorist organization in our country. And we must engage the international community, particularly the United Nations. We'll go there with evidence. We go there with evidence. We don't just walk in and say, I'm a terrorist. No. You go there with evidence. You write what convinces them to say, look, this is what is in our country. You understand? This is what is in our country. We are under terrorist attack and we need protection. Then they'll ask you what type of protection. You say, we can protect ourselves. Allow us to go and fight them. Simple. Once they are just recognized as terrorists, we can even bomb them if you want. Anytime we want, we can even put it at them. Because I'm a terrorist. So a terrorist is not supposed to live. And the more. Anytime we feel like we need to blow them up, we can blow them up. Because they will be declared terrorists. What we need is to work under international laws. If the international laws allows us to go and stop terrorism in Zimbabwe, then we will enter that country and stop terrorism. And they are putting, because John B., what you are saying, that is very true. Because there is an audio that is going around. Remember when we went to fight Ian Smith regime, most weapons came from Russia and China. And when they came from Russia and China, Russia cannot spend their taxpayers' money. Vachigadzira mabomba nenyere nemagrenade ekupai mahara kuti munorovana uko. They can't do that. There were concessions, signatures aisainiranwa. Musakachona anachiwenga vachingoti garagara mhanya kuRussia, garagara mhanya kuRussia. Zvakatosainiranwa pasi. Tichakupai 60,000 AK assault rifles. Tichakupai 1 billion rounds zema AK. Tichakupai magrenade 500 million. Tichakupai zvimbambaira. Vaine zvimbambaira zvavaicherera road. Mukaona zvimbambaira zvese zviri kutambura nazvo vanhu kubhodha rekuMozambique. Zvakachererwa ivo ava vanachiwenga ndo vaichera zvimbambaira zvazvo. Zviri kudimbura vanhu nanhasi makumbo. Saka zvinhu zvavainyorerana izvozvo kuti tichazvibhadhara. Vari kuzvibhadhara nei? Unongonzwa vachitaura kuti takainherita chikwereti chaSmith. Hakuna chikwereti chaSmith chavakainherita. Pavakatora independence, zvikwereti zvaSmith zvakakanzurwa zvese. So what they were indebted to was to pay for the ammunition that they used to fight Smith, for the weapons that they used to fight Smith. You understand? Yapila babikire, yapila njani. So you will find that those queries zvakavabata izvozvo. Saka uchona kune magold mine ana Putin. kune gold diamond mine ana Putin in Zimbabwe, because they are still repaying what they owed the Chinese. So uchana Zimbabwe makazara maChina. Vari kubvucha maChina yakabvunza ka kuti makati muchatibhadhara when muchatiparini mari yedu. Makutosvika machembera mazvidhara. Mune zvikwereti zvedu zvepfuti dzatakakupai. Hakuna nyika inokupai pfuti mahara. Munotosainirana mototenga. Vakatengerwa nani nyere idzodzo? Vakatengerwa nani pfuti idzodzo dzavakarwisa nadzo Ian Smith? Unosaka muri kuona nyika yedu yese yazara maChina vangotokonora pavanoda. Anosvika imba yako yakagara paraudza kuti bva panapa toda kublowa imba yedu, toda kutokonora pasi apa taona pane gold. You cannot stop them. You understand? We are bonded to the Chinese, and they are still bonding us to the Chinese. So that is something we must stop. And more. That's something that must be stopped. And so if you look at the foundation of everything that I've spoken about, of these terrorists, the foundation that we must lay, guys, let's not wait for any leader to come from anywhere. And akuna leader arikuya kubva anywhere. Because ndakataura last time that maZimbabweans tane problem yekutarisira kuti pachazouya ani achazoti leader whilst we are there. You understand? Let's be leaders. We need to be read tomorrow nevana. Kuti kwakazosimuka vakomana vainzi vana 𝗣𝗶𝗵𝗃. After 43 years of independence, vanhu vachiurawa daily to stop killing of civilians in our country. So let's rise up. Let's be leaders. Let's ensure that leaders who are tasked to make sure Zimbabweans are safe will make Zimbabweans safe. And let's make sure, let's pay allegiance to the people of Zimbabwe. Let's put plans down. Because zvatikutaura panapa zvoda mabudgets, zvoda human resources, zvinoda zvakawanda zvekubatsira kuti maplans amunenge maita aenderere mberi. This is what we call continuity. Imbwamba vemunhu ndiwo rukonzeresa kutambura iwe urerezano. Ru agupuka oro. Andimona. So together we are stronger, definitely. What about Nero's bulletproof brother? Is it coming? Yes, it's coming. I've spoken about it yesterday, Mkomaliro, and I've spoken about it today as well. That the car is coming, don't worry. Andimona. So what we need to do now is, no matter how much criticism people might suffer in Zimbabwe, but what I know is there are a lot of ZANU-PF people who are not happy at all. ZANU-PF people, they thought sorry guys, mashokanana anotaura panapa hatauriki. But what I'm just saying is, let's rely on ourselves. We are the main power, the human resources. Let's rely on ourselves. We are the domestic. We are a domesticated species of human nature. Isusu. So what we only do is we rely on our opinions. So let's have opinions from across the political spectrum to understand what do we need to do as a people. And I need a t-shirt. How did you get that? Mgomasid, it's not a t-shirt, a 𝗵𝗶𝗃, it's just a bora. Hey, long. I bought this t-shirt long back. But we can still have our own t-shirts as well. Kovestia President Chamisa, what is the plan? Mkoma Joe, ndakataura nezuro kuti vanhu vakanditi ndiite GoFundMe. Inini what I don't want, guys, to be honest with you, nesikade kubata mari dzevanhu, handidi kubata mari dzevanhu. Nechida someone achitibatira mari yedu, tapedza apo ndita run around to source equipment yatinge tichida kutibatsira president wedu. Because as I'm talking, ndiri kusachikumbiro kune vanhu veZimbabwe. Izvozvizvi, before I log off, let me say this. Ndataura nemumwe mukuru wandataura naye nhasi. Pane ma security contingency plan atawirirana. Andichatauri zita rake. But awirirana ma security contingent plan ataisa nhasi. Because nezuro kubva nezuro paipa maitaura kuti Shepherd, why can you help these guys chichichi? Vabva varova inbox straight this morning. Vachitotanga kutaura kuti mukoma Shepherd, ndimi muripo, makabvira kudhara, kubva vatsvangirai vari vapenyu, muchingoita run around. Yes dear. What do you want?
Printing something, you manage to print even one print or two?
I think so.
I want to hear, and then you talk later.
All right. Hanzi varege vakadaro hatabasa navo vatumwawo ndimonzura. So what I'm saying is, before I log off, ndisandapedza nyaya yandiri kutaura panapa, ndataura nevamwe vakuru, ndakubatsirana nevakomana vesecurity. We rely on narrative rather than opinion. At least with opinion you have a choice. A narrative, what you believe in was chosen for you, definitely. So what I'm saying here is, ndataura nemumwe mukuru wandataura naye. Toda what we call a contingent plan. Thank you, Yuda and Paul, for good night. Thank you, Mkoma Weli. Tine zvataplana for rally rekubulawayo. Zvatoda kuita. Saka what we are trying to do is make sure we catch these idiots whilst they are planning. Andimona. Pavanozosimuka kuti akunoataka tobva tabata. Kana tabata, zanu kana yavaramba seizvozvi, toisa machete. Sezvavari kuitawo. Kuti vafile, kana ndachitaura navafanira vangu kuti musaise machete mutsipa munouraya, toita ngozi kumusha. Isai machete kumusana kana kubvisa ruoko. Ngobvisa ruoko one osara ne1. Bo zanu PF iri kuvaramba, havasi vanhu vezanu ka. Saka nadaro chete ngobvisai ruoko one momusiya oenda. Andimona. Achiona manje kuti zanu iya imuchengete. Ngoma Yuda security ndaifunga zvakanyanya kubva pakaurawa mumwe wedu apa. Definitely ngoma didi. Saka nyaya ndachitaura pana achitaura neboys. Ndine boys randaseta. Ruda kuenda kubulawayo. That's good plan. Ndine boys randaseta ruda kuenda kubulawayo. Saka boys randaseta ruda kuenda kubulawayo. I'm not going to tell my details acho, but ndati ndikumbire vanhu vekuZimbabwe who are willing to contribute. Paroda $200 chete. 200. Ndo mari iri kudiwa. Mari iri kudiwa ye 200 yoyo ndiye logistics dzevakomana. Because panachitaura navo vati mudhara, don't worry about food. But what we just need to do is to make sure we go to Bulawayo and back. Tunoita zvatoda kuita kuBulawayo. Kana tapedza zvatoda kuita kuBulawayo, panopera rari todzoka. Vakanetsa tongoita iri hondo ngoma yedu. Aiwa zvatakuita izvinezvi manje. Takuita a way of dealing now for the final on green. Saka ndachitaura neboys, neboys dzandataura nadzo. Vane zuro pandakataura nyaya, a lot of people were so interested kuti ngatidai. When is Bulawayo rallies this week? Iriko this week Bulawayo rally. Saka iriko this week. Saka ndachitaura neboys kuti takabatwa unaware. But zvinhu zvinozikanwa always, guys. Kuti if tikaungana pazvinhu panu pakadaro, let's expect kuti tinogona kuatakwa. These are things that we should put contingency plans on the ground. We are working with a terrorist organization that is ready to blow us. We are competing with a terrorist organization which does not fear to kill people. So what do we need to do? We need to put contingent plans. In the event we are attacked, then we know what to do. Zvakanaka Mkoma John. Account is available because by tomorrow ndofana kuenda peza zvatiri kuita boys rosimuka pachina. That's why I love you, General. You speak powerful words. Definitely. Saka taakuda kugadzirira kuti ma attacks akaita seiwayaya, they must never happen again. When they are about to happen, we need to kubata ma attacks zvisati zvaitika. Atina munhu unoziva kuti chavanogona kungotiita kuti abhudhakita taakudzimba, but not kuti abhudhakita tiri parally. That not kuti ataka tiri parally. And if I want to join, what can I do that I can join those groups? For the time being, we've got a limited number of people for security reasons. But what I encourage Zimbabweans is those who are willing to contribute. I'm just looking for $200. Chete ndogadzira nyaya dzangu mangwana. Tapedza tomirira rari. ZANU-PF, you are welcome to attack us on Saturday if you are willing. You are welcome. But some of these people will be armed, brother. Robbie, Ngoma Robbie. Isusu mutakatrainwa anonzi an armed combat. Kuna mwana wakatrainwa kung fu. Mbate mashoko andurutaura. Unoenda zibhemba so uchida kunutema. Unogona kutadza unutema. Unogona kuzozvitema kana kuzvibaya iwewe. Andoona. It does not necessarily mean kuti munhu ukamona osati kuna ndaiseka vanhu vaiti masiyaiwo ndikati iwe masiyaiwo ataivaridza pfuti parenji wafanawo anorova apa target riri 100 meters away anorova pa 10 meters apa nepfuti apa but anenge akabata pfuti anoiona azviro kuti kuzvipakatira ndokudziridza hanzi but Bulawayo havasunde mukoma. They might want to attack us in Bulawayo, so we don't need to, we just need to put contingent plans on them. As Bulawayo is funi mbumbulu, ZANU-PF government must go mgoma. Bulawayo indo itemba inini. Zuta ranatete babra indo itemba. But what I want, and I like the invite, what I want is let's put contingent plans. Let's put security strategies in place. Andimona. Panachitaura nempano anachitaura naye chigadzira nyaya dzakachigadzira. Tachitaura nyaya dzokuti budget yacho rudiwa apa is just $200. Vabosi ndatiko munodya imanje kana maenda ikoko zvikanzi don't worry about food mudara. Don't worry about food. Trakufamba tratsoka dzekufamba tsoka dzerwendo ando dzatiri kuda. Trakukwanisa kuenda nekudzoka chete. Zvimwe zvese izvi tisire. Ande muri kunzwa ko hanzi komure nc'we vakaurayiwa nezanu mutumbi wavo watorwa nevanhu vasvika vana isuzu dzisina number plate. Ndo zvavanga vaida kuita. I'm not sure whether the board was taken away, but let's hope kuti the board is still there. Ndichabvunza settlement chikwinya kuti zvakamira sei. But ukulume nhlamba ute imbu wati imbumbulu. Atetelidze indawa musandiseka kana ndakutosekwa panapa handu novimba neBulawayo. Saka what we are saying is we can be abducted, but zvinenge zvava zvekudzimba, not pavanhu. Saka nyaya iripo ndeyekutaura kuti there are operations that we have planned, we've put in place to say, look, ladies and gentlemen, we are going there to Bulawayo. Let's go there and avoid. Hanzi tuze yokupa mari is not much. 200. You come to my inbox. Ndachitomutaurira ndikati I can say kuti vanhu vakandire mari yacho direct ikoko, or else voisa account mangu ndobva ndaikanda, because ndofana kuenda raise mari nasina mangwana. So we ensure timu yandiruda yasvika. Mukoma Leroy, ngatichege kutaura zvetraining kani, hatidi kukwazisa vanhu. Andimugona imimi ngozivai chete kuti ndo zvapo, but hatisi kuda kukwazisa vanhu. Because tikatanga kutaura kuti vakazotrainwa, muna maisirwa komando, munoisirwa komando. Andima totanga kuzokama mahuwa hazvidi kudaro. Azvakwana mudhara vateerera pano mazanu plan inoenda musango. Ndo zvandiri kutaura ezeni kuti zvatatotaura tatopedza. Imimi ndipei $200 chete. Ndo yandiri kuda. I don't want more. I just need $200. What do they do with the board? Tips. Remember when my uncle was murdered in 2008, the CIOs, they came to take the board home. Patakasara ndogeza kumba ndopedza paita kumirira kuti coffin risvike titakure board 10, navo varatofonerwa nayanga zvakanzi board yatotakurwa nema CIO yatoenda kumusha. So what they do is they take the board, they bring the board to your place, they force you to bury it. That's what they do. What they don't want is to make sure that a lot of people gather for the funeral. So they take the board, they bring it to your place and say, can you bury it? When my uncle was murdered in 2008, they wanted the board to be buried 8 p.m. But they got home around 8, 9. Then they were saying, can you dig the grave and bury him now? Then people that said, what? Where in the world have you ever heard about a father of a family, head of a family, being buried 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the evening? Where in this world? So we just said, guys, those are the shovels, those are pigs, you can go dig and bury him. That's what we just told them. Go dig and bury him. Ngoma Yuda, how are you? Zani no boa, my try. Shakunopera, Hilton. Shakunopera. Mnanga kwa anashi kutaura. Bomba, kanga, kublawa. Shakunopera. These are last kicks of a dying horse. Kune vanu vari kuzanu PF fan now, who are just following this corpse into the grave. It's very unfortunate. Kuti vana munanga gwa vanokwira ndege vanotiza vanoenda. Vane zimba kunze kwenyika uko. Iwo uchasara taakukubvunza. Ande uchasara taakukubvunza. Pane kumwe kuimba kunoimbwa kumasoro nemweya. Anchada kuimba ikoko. Arikaini kuimba uchabvunzwa. Uchabvunzwa uchabvunzwa iwe. Uchabvunzwa. Zvakupera neighbors. Takuzvipedza mukoma Terence. Kuzvipedza kwacho kubatana ini newe mwana wamai. Masura sei mukoma Yuda agogo Biden zviri sei. Thank you so much. I now understand. Yes. Zvakunopera. Kusakupera kwazvo zvopedzwa neni, zvopedzwa newe. Ukaregerera kuti Shepherd ngaite, handikwanisa kuzvipedza ndega. I need your support kuti zvipere, and you need my support kuti zvipere. Andimona. Because worldwide there are similar operations. Ma strategies atakuda kushandisa now. Ama strategies ekudila with these people zvine intelligence mukati. Andimona. There's ZANU-PF trolls who has built a reputation, a bad reputation of their country. Zimbabwe today is under sanctions, or they are targeted sanctions today in Zimbabwe because of these people in ZANU-PF who have invited these sanctions to destroy our nation. These trolls must be dealt with, ladies and gentlemen. Because as soon as we finish about by-elections, we now look into presidential elections. And when we go into presidential elections campaign with these trolls hired to follow us, create and spread false political content, it's 𝗍𝗏𝗁. My trolls, we call them 𝗍𝗏𝗁. They are busy spreading lies about us. They are busy trying to paint us, say, look, these are violent people. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen these trends before. We have seen the trends before. And this, we must not fall into these old tactics that they use. We have got new tactics ourselves. Some of these tactics, we can't discuss them live on Facebook. We can't talk about them on WhatsApp or Telegram or Telegraph or whatever. But we have got tactics that we can get into. Even 𝗍𝗃, ndakataura munhu ndikati mira uone 𝗍𝗃 website chairo, where 𝗍𝗃 ronzi 𝗍𝗃 rinenge richishowa pakombiyuta pangu apa, ndichiona maresults avanenge vachikanda pakombiyuta apa ndakagara panapa. But these are systems that are expensive to get. If we get those systems, 𝗍𝗃 vachinyora rubbish pana nechichinja mafigures awo pano stupid, chichonyora panonyora mafigures nonyora ti stupid, kuti aone pari kuapira word stupid rubva ameno. Because what needed to be done today is to make sure that 𝗍𝗃 system of rigging is destroyed. As well, what is Zimbabwe? Vanotange vanhu vakangwara vasina kungwara. Vanotange vanhu vakangwara. Hakuna muZimbabwe akagadzira Excel. Yakagadzirwa kuMicrosoft Excel. Hakuna muZimbabwe akagadzira database. Rakagadzirwa kuMicrosoft. But database pane ma-features pamwe kuti akariloka I can unlock it. But database create a database save what say locker, we can unlock it. As long as kangwana munari willing chete within 𝗍𝗃 tombhadhara not enanonamira kanaka pakombiyuta varira. Andimurikuona? It's who can't go to Zimbabwe will play with their mind psychological game. Pakaipa. Saka you see now that ndosaka uri kuona even vana Mugabe, after being 25 years in power, Mugabe had to go to Australia, Canada, had to go to Canada to engage 𝗍𝗏𝗁𝗁𝗁. Why would Mugabe go to Canada to engage 𝗍𝗏𝗁𝗁𝗁 when he has got CIOs in Zimbabwe? Why would Makedenge go to Facebook in America to try and unlock account yakanzi 𝗣𝗶𝗺𝗺𝗃? We have got CIOs in Zimbabwe. They can't unlock account yakanzi 𝗣𝗶𝗺𝗃 in Facebook. Vagere in Zimbabwe. They have to send someone to Facebook when they go America. As I am talking today, Emmerson Mnangagwa is engaging lobbying companies to lobby for him, my American companies, my British companies. But we have got CIOs in Zimbabwe. What are the CIOs doing? But they can't access Facebook page ya 𝗣𝗶𝗺𝗺. They don't know who 𝗣𝗶𝗺𝗺 is until today. After years of trying to investigate, they ended up vakungorova vanhu vasina nebasa rese vafanira vanzanana vana journalists vaiva kudzingwa mabasa vainzi murana 𝗣𝗶𝗺𝗺 vana Jonathan maiva kunzi murana Jukwa. Unoziva kuti ndakaseka zvangu ndikati ya kune vanhu vakaipa. Dai vaida kuziva 𝗣𝗶𝗺𝗺 vakandibvunza kuti 𝗣𝗶𝗺𝗺 ndiani ndakavataurira. ZANU-PF ichiita marari, ichiita meeting yayo, misangano yayo. Mamune kanhu kakanamirwa, kakanamira nhasi karimo kakanamirwa muZANU-PF office. Muconference center mamwe kanhu kakanamirwa. Kekuti kananga kachingobhima chete information. Vachitaura, tozodai. uyo anenge achingoteerera achiti achirekodha ozongopedzisira onyora babajukwa nhasi maita meeting imi matimuda kuita zvakati nga motikari dzavo chaidzo hatichatauri zvakawanda tingazotaurisa tikazofumura zvimwe zvinhu mastrategies mamwe akazofumuka adiwa ndakaudza mumwe munhu ndikati ndakagara panapa ndopinda ofisi yamunangagwa ndiri panapa ndopinda ofisi yamunangagwa pano mushamisika kuti shepherd zvanotaura izvanozviwane president vati zvakati tatiri muprivate meeting but zvakutaurwa nana Yuda andinoona. It's because tine CIO inoconcentrate kudzipa vanhu. I concentrate on upgrading technological advancement aripo. Baba kune kanhu kanonzi Wikipedia usakadherere kaya. Anzi mbopinda emdara. Zeni zvinodhura zvidi aungopindi chete usina chawakabata. The most important, the most dear operation in this world is intelligence. Intelligence is not dura. Intelligence is not dura. Ini ndongo kutaura ipapo chete kuti akuna chinhu ndikada software panapa yanenge chida inogona kundroera kana 10,000 US chayo zvinotenga software yondipinde muzeki ndigare muzeki tichitaura nawo muzeki vachinyora mafigures chinyora rupfutseki. Hello brother Yuda Tandeka Standwa, love you sweetheart. Andidimona Mr. Yuda, I'm asking for third time, what time do you do your lives? We need more citizens to listen to you. I do my lives on Facebook 8 o'clock UK time, which is about 10 o'clock Zimbabwe time. Because no time yandenge nda free. Baba jugwa yakatrovesa elections 2013 kutaura zveniku. Atina kuteerera chete 𝗟𝗲𝘁'𝗀. Atina kuteerera. Dai takateerera takabvunza tuita sei. Yo what is it baba jugwa? Hana chakanyepa pane zvaitaura. But takashaya away nekuti atina mari. Urikuona problem ine maZimbabweans. Vanhu vane mari dzavo vana masiwa ndo vanotengera ZANU-PF ma-t-shirts. You won't be surprised kuzwa kuti ma-t-shirts anopfekwa neZANU-PF aya they cost about 500 million US dollars akatengwa naStrive masiwa. You won't be surprised to hear that. Although atisuda kuita mess around namudhara masiwa, mudhara ane mari dzake. But tikataura nyaya idzi tingangokutenga tikumuitira godo, asi munhu ane mari dzake mudhara wayo. Andimona ko ndezvechembereka vari kumashure. Bosi ukanzwa mudhara achitaura endai munotamba nawo munowarakasha ikoko. Anenge achitaura zvaanoziva. They have got no capacity. They definitely have no capacity. And kune masoftwares indokurudzira ndakakurudzira vanhu vari kuZimbabwe vari muno muna UK munoitwa ma-free courses aya. Anzi ikoko uri kutsvakwa Yuda nema-assassin. I know Mkoma John. They attempted to assassinate me once when they destroyed my things. I know they will attempt again. But what happens in Mkoma John, it's not about, I cannot guard against dying. This is one thing that I always tell people. Even my family, I always tell them that be prepared for any eventuality. I might die any minute. I might die any time. But what I know is I can't do away with dying. When the time comes, definitely, I will notice. That is something that because I know one way or the other, I will be ndichangofa andimona ndichafa kana vachinzi ndichaurawa nezano ndofa nezano kana vachinzi ndichabayiwa ndichatakwa ndichatwa sei ndofiro yangu iyo aikwanise kuinzvenga. But what I'm saying ndezvekuti if there are other plans we can put in place to avoid that, of course we might. So what we need is to try and get into ZEC, to try and get into already kusiya uko ndakapedza uko kana problem nako kusiyaiwo chacho hana problem nayo. I'm done with them. Chakuradza imwe musiyaiwo anogara kuno. Ndakasangana naye zvikasi baba vanorova zvekurova ndikati alright. Andimona. Saka kusiyaiwo hana basa nako. I'm done nako. Siyaiwo yeZimbabwe it's a leaking ipoto inobvinza inobvinza. Tsoko. Chinongobvinza pai mari yako. Izvozvi ndikatofona mpana uda chimari yedoro o 20 pounds. Zvakamira sei? Documents nemadokezi nongonzi ndaraona. Usazonitaura ndourayo kuti haakana kumara tikazoita chibalance chakadaro. Kuzeki tiriko this time mopindwa muzeki. Yakabuda voters roll chigumba akakotsira chinzangonono voters roll ichibuda. Andibona how much can we contribute kugadzirisa nyaya dzezek software iyoyo inoda chaitaura iyoyo. Ndotanga ndaona kuti pane company imwe inoita specialize hacking. Inonzi hacking, very simple technique but inoda software yakasimba baba. Inoda software. Saka ndichataura neimwe company inoshandiswa nemwe security inoshandiswa nemwe forensic company kunoko yekuti wakada software wakada any information iri mufoni mashepherd zvinotransfer magnetically guys. Kungosvika nemushini wake pandakamira so musaita muright tutaura right. Software yake inenge yatokopa everything zviri mufoni mangu unoscrolla chete vakuona. Ndakati panyika panoka pane vanhu vanofunga, people who reason. Unoona system yamoshandisa yekuti unenge uchida unotenga iwewe munhu uri price yake opedza otora bank card rako iri andiri bank card hatichaita rekuenda rekunyika mumushini yezvinezvi. Hatichanyikwi mumushini kabank card wakamira so unongonzi ita pfanya ungopfanya panapa mari yotobuda yoenda. Hapana imbofunga kuti zvingaitika zvazvo. Mutarise mabank statements enyu, garai makatarisa mabank statements enyu. Kune vanhu vari kupfanya vachitora mari dzevanhu. Vane mishini yacho vanofamba vachikora vakasvika pauri anoziva kuti chikwama chako chine bank card obva apfanya ototora mari. Andiona, be careful. Saka that technique ine munhu akazoita ukasvika pakombiyuta une mushini wacho iyoyo kungosvika padhuze nekombiyuta sere inodownloada everything zvopinda kusoftware yake uenda unoona zvaanenge achida kuona. Nosaka pakunze zvinezvi kana maakuita nyaya dzekupotamisa mabank cards, mabank statements, mabank chi pamakombiyuta imbosiyanai nazvo, mari dzopera mari. Unongoita ukahora mari so uchihora mari munhu anenge achitora $20 hauzvioni. Anenge achitora $20 pa 60 million people vanenge vachienda kubasa muUK. Anenge ane 120 million every month. Pazeki mungati gonera shuwa. Iripo software musatya. Varipo mbuya vezeki vakateerera. Aiwa kana vakateerera sei? Kana vakateerera sei? Toenda musoja ari muuniform. Chef chaiye boss. Vane musodzi nokuda vane musodzi mutsvuku apo. Kuti kanhu kandakupa akaenda unogadzika muoffice. Kane lifespan battery rate 3 years. Kane kachingobhima chete. Ndakati kuna vanhu vanofunga panyika panapa. Andimona. Because we want to do away with the dictators now. But zvinhu zvinoda mari. Saka you find guys kuti unsure what jirara one gari vezeka vavata. Problem yavanayo ndeyekuti vane limited data plus vanobva kuti ma10 pounds hatukwanise kuzoswedzana nesu kana taakutaura. But general iya inonzi team pachedu yakamira sei, how did it manage to get the voters roll? Tikataura masecrets ere naimko maroi Leroy hatinodaro kana kuma tine zvimwe zvinhu zvatoronga. Ndakazomboatakwa nomwe munhu anzi uri timu pachedu yo, ndikati handini variko wana pachedu variko, hatidi kutitaurira tingaundura magure evanhu. But nyaya tiri kutaura panapa ndiye kuti tatarisana nerally riri kuya this Saturday. Rally ledu unfortunately riri kuya soon after we were attacked. I understand we are the majority in Zimbabwe. 𝗍𝗶𝘁 is the largest part. Even ZANU-PF, it cannot unganidza vanhu vanounganira Chamisa. Saka we are the largest part in our country. We have got a good influence. And don't talk about secrets. Tatopedza ini ndoda kuheka data remapurisa ekanzuru ndazwa nematikiti kova John muri kupaka pasipo kamudara muri kupaka pasipo imimi ingotsvagai software inoti tikasvikana pacancel move maireza makombiyuta avo ese, you just put them blank matopedza. Inonzi cyber attack. Inonzi cyber attack. You can shut down all computers in Harare. Ese vakanodaiso data haribudi chunu. Haribudi chunu data baba. You can erase any information you want. Munakavhura computer inenge iri blank so. Ndakasiva blank. Andimona zvinoitika izvozvo. Hazviitwe nemasiyaiwo havazvizive izvo. Kune vanhu vanogara pasi vanofunga kuti panapa toita sei kuti zvinhu zvifambe zvatiri kuda. Saka nyaya yandiri kutaura guys, I don't want to waste your time. It's 8 minutes past 10 UK time. So what I want now is ndaita a request to you guys by tomorrow, because I've promised these guys could let me run around so that tomorrow ndona kuti ndaraisa $200 ndakusenderai guys, mufamba zvakanaka patokipa tichiona kuti muri kuita sei, muri papi, zviri kuita sei. Handimona zvatotaura izvi. One of the killers ndinosenderwa mapicture panapa. Handinoda muone zita, ndoda muone mapicture. Handinoda muone zita. This is one of the killers utamuwana. Ndiye one wakauraya vanhu utamuwana. Saka this gentleman, imagine this is the guy. He's a policeman. And one of the killers who is a policeman. He's a policeman. Information you could is he's one of the people who went to kill our brother. He's a policeman. Good morning, Zita. 𝗍𝗶𝘁 is one of the killers. And this morning is one of the killers. Mpurisa, you don't pay that information. You don't pay the office. The wood to hey. Mpurisa, my picture and I send the rob. I think I saw one. This is a policeman. He's one of the people who hacked to death our brother. So ashamise kuona mpano yakaura anonzi Kennedy Simbuya kutaura kwatiri kutoita. So akatovigwa kupolice camp. Akatovigwa kupolice camp. Achinzi mapurisa ake atiri kumutsvaga ari mupolice camp. Andimona. So this is one of the killers. Chataura same language now. Ngoza ende kuzana. Chataura same language now. Andemona. This is information that is just coming in. Saracha anchatauri kwa zvabva. Tatukuraisa vanhu. Vakomana vari kushanda kumusha uko. Problem yatinayo ndekuti varombo, tanyanya kuti varombo. Hatina chatinacho, but otherwise these guys are working tirelessly. Under settlement Chikwinyav, I have seen a terrified family frozen as events turn out that the CIO is determined to bury 𝗵𝗶𝗁𝘁'𝗀 the same way they did 𝗣𝗿𝗶𝗁𝘁. State has stolen the board in a movie style. Citizens, we must liberate the 𝗁 family. Saka hanzi chitunha chabiwa ndo chokwadi. Zvitaurwa na settlement Chikwinyav, chitunha chabiwa. Ameno zvavarida kuita maCIO wavo. It's clear that ZANU-PF killed. The US government, ameno zvazvo US, am good, but on the news hands the CIO have stolen the board of the guy who was killed by ZANU-PF thugs parali. They want to destroy evidence emafiro aakaita and havasi kuda kuti aitirwe funeral. Can you imagine? So Comrade Chadzamira thinks in another fit of anger, 𝗵𝗶𝗃𝗁𝗁 Vice President 𝗣𝗵𝗺 and 𝗂𝗶𝗺 have lambasted their leader for personalizing that they termed the People's Project. Yeah, this is another false information that has been circulating. Kudanzi vabiti 𝗣𝗿𝗺𝗺 is just to try to create division. Musaterere, these are trolls. Varakash vari kunyora these things. These things, they think they can impact on our political part. Their intention is to try to chaora ichi chamisa hana vanhu vaimboti chamisa hana plan, chamisa okanda plan vakuridza mere. And chipoko cha Priscilla Chigumba chiri pano achina basa. I told you, comrade, icho achina basa. Definitely mkoma jo vataura kuti chitunha chabiwa nemaCIO vatakura chitunha vaenda nacho. Go on. Regai nditi daina ndine mari, I was gonna fly into Zimbabwe tomorrow, but I'm not going there. But a very simple kana pane vanoziva vanhu vekwaNcube vekwaMboneni, kana pane one ari kuGweru, kana pane munhu ari kuGweru unoya kuinbox kwangu, munhu ari kuGweru uya kuinbox kwangu ndokuudza zvekuita. Mangwana chaiye munhu akauraya Mboneni anofa, unoya kuinbox kwangu ndokuudza zvekuita. You come to my inbox ndokuudza. Ndakasiya achimwene akatipasa kwa mankhwala, anatiudza mankhwala kuti pamene munhu achita ichi, achimwene mutenga ichi ndiichi basi kufaka pamuzi mupeza kuti muntu amachita chani. Ananena achimwene anatiudza kumuzi kuti anapa achimwene ngati achimwene muri ndishuwa kuti abamba anapiwa ndantu ngati nganzi okay. Baba munini wangu vakanditi hande ndokuratidza uza kamutika vakandiratidza ise very kaka kuZimbabwe asandakaona zvangu kamuti kacho, but pane ndakakaona kuMalawi ndaenda vakandiratidza mudhara. Kaka unoziva pane vanhu vari kuZimbabwe munoziva here, hanzi can we speak relative yambo when to come to your inbox. I will talk to settlement Chikwinyav, Angeline, don't worry. But muti wacho wandoda kutaurayo amene kuti vanouwana here kuZimbabwe. If they can get that muti kuZimbabwe ikoko vanongotora mutiyo ogeza chitunha zvapera. Baba kana makaona munhu achidya madhodhi murodhu achifa achizvicheka kudai so unonyasoona kuti ya panyika pana vanhu vanoroya pana. I'm not sure whether that kamuti kacho vanogona kukawana kuZimbabwe here, but ndichataura kana vasingakawane kuZimbabwe ameno kuti munhu ari kuMalawi anogona kukaendesa ndiani. kuZimbabwe kamuti kacho kuZimbabwe kune kamuti kekuti ukafamba painguva yekusakura iyayi pane kamuti kanomera kanda green, mashizha egreen, ukakadya kanovava kunge sauti so kanda mashizha egreen so, but ikako manje akamere kudaro kanotandavara so kanozadza kandange lawn asi kane mashizha acho akadaro akaita egreen. Iwo hautore mashizha egreen iwo unotora akasvava acho akutsva nezuva aya. Ndakazira mudhara zvikanzi inotora muti iwo 𝗍𝗵𝗺 enda unotora enda unogeza ndobva ndaenda kubva ndanogeza zvikanzi udaidze Sara mudhara paunenge wakugeza. Baba ndakasvika mubathing room ndikageza ndikadaidza kuti ndolo Yuda mudhara wangu akadaira inini chigeza zvandiri kutaura izvo anenge ukaudza munhu unofuwa firimu. Baba wangu vakandidaira ndichigeza, ndakavadaidza ndichigeza kamuti kako. Ndapedza kugeza ndichigeza ndakadaidza ndolo Yuda. Baba wangu vakadaira achimwene kodi muri bwanji kati uza ndakabuda mubathing room ndisina kupfeka mudhara akanditi iwe pfeka mani. Zvikandatenda nogeza chete udaidza baba wako zita rako uvataurira zvekuita. The body already buried my brother. Don't worry. Ngavaite tuone. Ndokakumbira omucheo madzimai noti siyana nazvo munoroya sekutamba. Akaite kanhu ikako. Ini ndaangonze ndanogeza nababa munini zvikanzi udaidza baba udaidza mudhara wako. Ndageza. Baba vangu inini vakaurawa. Vakaurawa paprazi pavaishanda. Dzaurawa zvekuti akanga ari senior mechanic mudhara wangu. Ndakazongoenda paprazi kunotora maturusi avo chete. Ndikaenda kumba. Ndikazoenda naumwe baba mukuru wangu tikasvika. Ndikaenda kumochari ndikanoona mudhara wangu inini haana kumbofa akaonda. Ndakapinda mumochari ndikamutarisa so. Ndikambata baba wangu ndakavabata vakafa kubata musoro kudai. Ndikabata matama avo kudai. Dzakafa dziri mochari so. Ndikazibata musoro ndikabata matama ndikazitarisa so. Ndikaisa musoro wangu apa padzo apo. Ndikachema ndikabuda mochari. Ndikaenda kwana baba mukuru vekukama wakati asadaro 𝗍𝗵𝗺 mayawo haabvumirwi kuchema wabvumirwa kubuda musodzi. Saka watodaro unokanganisa mudhara kuenda kwake. Isusu ngatingoenda tiite sei tivige mudhara. Ndobva ndaenda vataviga mudhara. Ndaviga mudhara ndobva vanhu vagowera mbatya dzamudhara paukama. Asi pakanga pasina kana hama yababa vangu. Vakanga vari vanhu vekubva navo kumamisha kuMalawi chii. Ndobva ndagara ndikati ndakapiwa mashesa andakapiwa nomashesa andaitenga. Andaitengera mudhara wangu. Odzoka nomapiwa futi. Kamudikanisa manje kanowanikwa kumusha kuMalawi hobho kanotanda kudai. Kanotanda. Kakafanana ndati kakafanana nekaike kuZimbabwe kuti kadya kanotanga sauti kaike. Kanotanda ikako manje kanotanda manje ukatosvika kunge kumangochuku kakazara ikako. Kakazara. Saka ndakatora hembe dzababa mva ndaisa mubhegi. Ndobva ndachema ndakaudza mukadzi wangu ndikati ndakuenda kumusha kuMalawi. Mukadzi wangu ati unopenga here 𝗍𝗵𝗺? Ndikati ndakuenda. Sefani, I've never been in Malawi. 2005 November, that was my first time kupinda mumusha pedu paMalawi kupinda. And ndikakuudza kuti handambotambura kusvika pamusha pedu. Noti kuna mwana wanzanzi unorasika ukaenda kwausingazive kumamisha. Baba wangu vakanditungamirira ina handina anomborasika kana. Ndichingosvika paMwima ndichiburuka. Vanhu vachiuya ndichibvunza paipa vati mayawo kahasi machawa mayawo. Ini chinyanja ndotaura. Chandiri kutaura panapa chinyanja hasi chiyawo ichi. Saka kukataura ichochi kwedu havachinzwa. And unozoitawo laki rekusangana ne1 2 anochinzwa. Hanzi ndiraire ndimhanye kuseni ndotora ndodzoka fast. Ndobva ndapedza. Ndobva ndasvika pana baba mukuru. Baba munini muningi navo baba vanosiyirana naye. akashamisika kanzi mwana auya kubva kuZimbabwe uzotsvaka pamusha pababa wake mwana wa kati kanzi chii chanetsa mwana wangu ndikati baba wakafa but kufa kwababa haana kunzwisisa havana kumbofa wakaona kuti munhu arwara unoita sei usa baba mnini wangu wakaseka inini instead kuti vacheme kuti mukoma wakafa wakaseka zvikanzi vanhu vekuZimbabwe vanozvitanga vakangwara sitereki kana vachiroya vanouya kuzotora mushonga kuno kumangochi kuno iko vanotora mushonga vachienda vachinoti tange vari kuroya kwavafika kuZimbabwe n'anga dzekupi idzodzo zvikanzi no don't worry usachema mwanangu tozvigadzira kati kumudhara kuti anozvigadzira chi toita poitwa sadaka todya sadaka poitwa sadaka todya sadaka todaidza vakafa vese usadhasika semudhara saruzviitire andaidza vafi vese vakafa vasina kutsika pamusha mazita avo daidzwa musha alhamdulillah alaha alahilahilahilahilaha pedza paya zvikatapedza shepadi kanzi tapedza ndagara ndipo ndakazotorwa manje zvikanzi handi kulake malombe ona kulake malombe ndokwaikanwa nakamusibhanda wajwa nemakarwe aifidha makarwe kulake malombe kamusibhanda nevanhu kanosvika ikoko unomhaiswa nemakarwe mamwe kuti ukariona sonoti hey Gustav ora takaenda ikoko kasvika mudhara anobva atema kamuti kake kanzi uri kwaona kamuti aka kati zvikanzi usakadherere shepadi ndikati endawo baba dzichifamba dzichindiudza nyaya because it was my first time kusvika kumusha saka ndaifamba chiratidza hama dzese nchiudzwa nyaya nchitwa sei baba vangu vaindida ivavo ndakabva ndadzoka kumba svika kuti ugeze kamuti aka ndikatogeza mashizha aitoti toda kuti ugeze enda unogeza kana wageza udaidze zita rababa wako ndipe zita rekamuti handizivi kuti kanonzi chii nini kamuti kacho I don't know kuti kanonzi chii bosi takatoenda kunokatira kunonzi kulake malombe kanotandara so takatoenda kulake pabosi pamba pedu padhuze nekulake malombe saka takatoenda kulake kunokatora kanotandavara kamuti kakwa kakada kufanana nekaike kuti ukasakura kuZimbabwe kakadya so kanovava sauti so ikako kagreen kacho tumashizha twacho twakada kudaro futi saka ndakabva ndadzoka bva ndasvika kumba kukanzi nababa munene ndaunogeza kana paunenge waugeza mutiwo daidza zita rababa wako ndikati alright ndanosvika bva ndapinda mubathing room baba unoziva kumusha kuna mabathing room kune zvichinja house unosvika muchichinja house kachinja house kacho kara kapfupi ndiri munhu murefu ndaitokotama so chinyara chigeza daidza baba wangu chendolo yuda baba dzakadaira chimwene zvikuenda bwino voice rababa wako kwete zvekuti azinofungidzira kuti pangoda chipoko kuti baba vangu inini vakandibereka vakandidaira ndichitaura navo ndikataura zvandaida ndakabuda mubathing room isina kupfeka ndakamonera tauro dhara baba munini kanzi iyaya chimwene iyaya pano ndakazi tu pano pitani munomudzokerai mbavhu ndokupai mafuta ndokupai chimobuda imo mapfeka ndikati alright ndarowa nehana handinoona unoziva kuti munhu akauraya baba vangu inini kupurazi kwainzwa masenda baba kwakaitwa murakwatira munoita murakwatira kudai kuti rakwatira handina mushonga wandakabata asi munorakwatira handiri kunzwa ameno kana vakambozama kuda kutsvaga kuripa but ndandisiri muZimbabwe kana vaida kuripa ndakati kavada kuripa zvikavarwadza ndovapa adresi vokwira kuenda kumusha undaura ndisakauraya chendolo handiri manzwa hanzi but is there anything bad happened to those killers havakapera munhu wacho baba vacho vakazviita akazvitsika netractor akazvitsika netractor kumunda achirima ndiye munhu wanatanga kupesera kutanga kunzwa bandanda kunoku azvitsika netractor nezvekuti ameni tractor yakaita sei yanzi akajamba vaanotswanya nezivhiri zvoumberero tswa kati ya nayazihinya wena nayazihinya chirapa chilolo ichocho. Vana kutatu anata umachita umapita kwa mulungu kuti mulungu tu atsogoloreni tu apite kumbuyo anata kuta pera kuti du loseka nhamo serugare kune marudzi asingabatwi kune marudzi asingabatwi siyanai nekuuraya vanhu siyanai nezvitunha zvevanhu musabata unobata magetsi baba unobata magetsi miri inopera kupera kuti du hai brother yuda ndichangosvika handatopedza ngoma give manonoka saka chiregai ndipedze guys those vapromisa vaive mangwana guys if I can get the money today then tomorrow ndokanda zvandoda kuti ite toisa muteyo andimona dauti munzwe mirai mane ozaka ndichitaura vanhu vanotochepadha anonyepa inoda zvinhu zvine evidence miraton dauti munzwe panapo varidzi vazvo ava
masisimu yavari kushandisa vavanhu vezana ava vari kuhla kuti chamisa une mapowers ende vanhu vari kuda chamisa muzimbabwe bhobhu yezimbabwe iri kuda chamisa kuti apinde muhofisi atonge nyika ivo vari kuzoona kuti une masimba akanyanyisa ende maelections ari kuuya aya ema-by-elections kozouya mageneral next year unotikunda chete saka system yavo kana kuti strategy chavo ndechekuuraya nekurova because vanoziva kuti tisvike kunext year tinenge tauraya more than 200 number iyoyo haichavhoti because vatofa vakafa kudhara vanhu vavo vachavhoti vari kuvidziriza nhamba vamwe vachirova vachirimara vachifira kuzvipatara chiichi ndo masystem vari kushandisa vafana ava vari kupiwa mari kuti seaudio yandava kutumira iya that's why ndiri uchingiswa ndichitaura kuti ngaisvike kuna chamisa aizvi azive kuti vana mutsvanga chii chavakaronga chii chavanoronga noona nemuchini uya vanotaura kuti kuri kuuya muchini wati ya watobuya uriko muchini izvizvi uva kuzobira lukuzeni mavhotsi musi wemavhotsi haisi nhema yandozovari kuronga ndiwo masystem yavo iwoya noona zvinoda kuti ccc izvizive kuti pane zvizvi nezvizvi zvavari kuronga vana mutsvango and then vataure vazive kuti ya izvi zvakalika izvi information yatolika chaizvo vayatozviziva vecc ndozvinodiwa kuizvozvo kuti zviitire no manje tiri kure kunoku kusouth africa futi kuti tigadzirise mushonga uripo asi kana zvikafamba nenzira yakanaka hai tokwanisa kuroya roiwe zvisire kure izvi
ndisekuru vangwa vari kutaura hanzi mushonga uriko ndopana ndibvunzwe chete dzakabva kumusha uko handibvunzwa kana shona yacho iri kutambura kutaura shona dzakugara ujonu mudhara iyeyuyu mudhara iyeyi kamutaura mudhara saba bhambalo chakuti unoswera wakabhambiwa wakabatwa musipa sounzi mpa bhambalo chakuti nesando ndofunga kurara
ndakamborara nepapapa ichawarudza daro unontema usiku iwe wadziwa
ina ndroye vairoya ndaayuda
kupfeka heti ataka kuwadziwa sha
so manje sawanida kuroya inini indiri mposto Soda boy fake. Indri impostori andikakuroya.
Impostor anoroya futi musati kuvhara nechipostori.
Andisa ayuda kainini. Akutauraya kuti anzi mankhwala ariko. Tikure chete. Unoroyoka. Unofamba wakasenga musoro. Aiwa oroyo. Unofamba wakasenga musoro wakatakura musoro. Ufamba wakatakura musoro so wakaroyiwa. Kudingizira musoro so. Vanachida kuona kuti ndiani akuremerwa musoro unorema uyu. Kutange usiri wako. Nenyaya dzekusiyai kuuraya vanhu. Ndatopedza so. Regai ndiende zvangu inini. Mwana waayuda. Andidi. Regai ndiende. Imimi guys, nyaya ndataura is serious. Aza anoenda nebhazi naye. Apa kwakaipa kani, kwakaipa. Munhu anofamba akatakura musoro. Toona sekuro dzaku South Africa dzakabva kumusha kuMalawi. Dzaku South. Last time dzakadhumirwa nanambavha epfuti vaiva vakauya asi vakaridza pfuti vaida kudzitorera mari bozi kuita mari inotyisa kujonu. Saka vakaridza pfuti asi varidza pfuti vada kupinda mumba mangu asi vaiwira kuti chubwi utangona uri kuwira mumvura. Asi vaizi chubwi uda kupinda mumba asi uri kupinda mugomba. Saka pakaipa. Dana ndisiri impostori inini ikada nchiroya moto. Asi Mwari vakazonditi ndiite impostori zvekuroya zvakanditi usabata. Usabata. Saka inini ndonamata. Asi kana zvaipa kudai so tombotora tinembwa hombe dzimwe dzinoruma toti sara kamubhamba yena. Bhamba mubahwa. Saka nyaya yacho yakaoma. Pandakadzitaura kuti ndapwanyirwa motikari nevanhu veZANU-PF. Dzakaseka vasvika pamba pako zopwanya mota zikati zvikapamba pachi mwene achiyawo kupwanyirwa motikari nevanhu veZANU ndikati dzakaputika kuseka zvikanzi unosvikirwa pamba mwana womuyawo unosvikirwa pamba. Good night, tozotaura mangwana. Saka ndachikumbirawo guys kuti tibatsirane tikaita padowanhu 10 tikaita ma20 takwanisa 200 mangwana maredio yoenda. Operation yedu yofamba zvakanaka. Anchikwinya adzingwa kurufu kwamboneni. Chataura naye because vakutya vanhu vacho. Vakutya. Anditi maona. Vakutya. Zvakudai isusu takamira zvekumira zviya. Saka ngatisangane mangwana. Ndichafonera settlement chikwinya mangwana tinzwe kuti zvakamira sei. Ikoko anditika. But sure you kuti hama dzacho dzikatamba tsoro dzakanaka zvinofamba. Saka regai nditi good night guys. Murara zvakanaka. Andisina mari yakawanda just 200 for tomorrow. Zvimwe zvezvo vakomana vandaura don't worry about apa aiwa. Apa no. Don't worry. Tungoda kufamba chete. Andimaona. Saka good night. Please inbox me. Alright, atetejes. Ndinoya kuinbox kwenyu. Good night.